You've likely already heard facts about climate change, but what you might not realize is the impact that extends to the countless species of animals and marine ecosystems on our planet. Rising temperatures mean lower survival rates.
And you could be a part of the problem. Meteorologist Natalie Ferrari explains how our changing climate is impacting animals.
The impact of our changing climate extends to the countless species of animals and marine ecosystems on our planet. In a nutshell, rising temperatures are lowering the survival rates of various species due to changes that lead to less food, less reproduction, and interfering with their habitat. Combine that with human-caused impacts to the environment like littering, pollution, and drilling for oil, and you're talking about an ongoing crisis to various habitats across the globe. A study from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that 1/3 of wildlife on this planet could become extinct by 2070 due to climate change. Some of the species currently considered most vulnerable, according to the World Wildlife Fund, include African and Asian elephants, the monarch butterfly, polar bears, mountain gorillas, and green sea turtles, which are typically found in subtropical and warmer waters across the planet. And Florida has one of the largest numbers of green sea turtle nests in the western Atlantic, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. But habitats for turtles and other marine life have been threatened in more ways than one.
Well, fundamentally, we're putting too many nutrients into Florida's ocean and coasts. That's too much nutrient pollution from agriculture, from residential sources, from commercial sources, from municipal sources. Across the board, we're simply putting in too much nitrogen and too much phosphorus.
Excess nitrogen and phosphorus can cause an overgrowth of algae in a short period of time. We call them algal blooms. These blooms consume oxygen and block sunlight from underwater plants, making it impossible for certain species to survive. Then there's red tide, which we all know too well along the Gulf Coast. And while red tide is a naturally occurring event, that warm, nutrient-rich water is only further aggravated by our actions.
It's human impacts that are making red tides worse. It's human impacts that are making blue-green algal events worse. And warming water from climate change is making these harmful algal blooms worse. It's like pouring gasoline on an already existing fire.
And it's not just algal blooms that are a concern. Our changing climate has a direct impact on the seafood we eat.
The Gulf of Mexico is on average 3 degrees warmer than in previous years. And that has all kinds of impacts on things like fisheries. Fish travel throughout the Gulf based on the temperature of the water. The mackerel aren't coming at the right times of year, the redfish aren't coming at the right times of year, and that's all because of a warming ocean.
This is why now, more than ever, it is crucial we limit single-use plastics, explore smarter energy options, and combat waste and pollution.
We need to make changes in our personal lives, we need to make changes at City Hall, we need to make changes in Tallahassee that improve water quality, that mitigate against a changing climate, and that remove marine debris from our coasts.
Marine debris, which is any kind of human-created waste, can not only cause harm to our marine and coastal wildlife, but it can damage habitats, interfere with navigational safety, cause economic loss to our fishing industries, as well as threaten our own health and safety. Let's take a cigarette butt, for example. It's fundamentally formed up of little tiny pieces of plastic. Once that plastic gets into the environment, it can break down and it can wreak havoc on the ecosystem, not only harming sea life, but also birds if they feed those cigarette butts to their babies.
Well, we're at an all-hands-on-deck moment for Florida's ocean and coasts, and we're at a crossroads, frankly, and people need to care.
Meteorologist Tyler Moore.